All right, so next up, another exercise, another opportunity to practice things. And this section covered quite a few different commands. They all, or almost all, started with an R, right? Reset, restore, revert. Maybe it's just those three, but it just felt like a lot of R's, and they all sound similar. You'll get a chance to practice some of them here. This exercise is going to cover most of what we talked about. And I did say I wouldn't expect you to just immediately remember them all, so please feel free to reference notes, Google things. I mean, you should always do that. It's just part of the process. Anyway, this exercise is another one that is asking you to download an existing starter repository. So I still realize we have not really covered clone. You've cloned at least one time in a prior exercise. This is another example where I'm just going to ask you to run this command and just trust me, it gives you a repository I've made for you. We are on the verge, the cusp of learning about git clone. But for now, just run this at the beginning. So as always, this link is available as a resource with this video. I highly recommend you do the exercise. I think it's kind of a fun one. It's based on the lyrics to the Beatles song Yesterday. Which originally Paul McCartney wrote the melody and he sang it in his head and to friends using scrambled eggs. And then there's a whole bunch of lyrics he actually wrote that are all based around scrambled eggs. So the history of this repository actually includes my fictionalized evolution of those lyrics. So you'll see if you clone this repository, we'll start there. Make sure that we're not in a Git repository when we do this, and then just paste that line. Okay? That now makes us a folder called Yesterday Exercise. So if we cd into that, the next step is we should see a file called lyrics, okay? And then we take a look at the commit history. So I'll just do that with you right now. Let me do one line. You can see that there are 8 different commits that you have already just by cloning. So this first kind of batch here all have to do with scrambled egg lyrics. So I copied and pasted, but the original first verse, second verse, the chorus, then I finished it. And then this is the rework where it became yesterday instead of scrambled eggs, broken into 4 different commits. Okay, so your task there's a bunch of tasks, is to follow the instructions. I won't just walk through them all right now before I do it, but basically at one point I ask you to go back and check out a commit. You'll go into detached head, and then I ask you to go back, leave detached head, go back to the master branch. Then I ask you to go find a particular commit where I finish the original lyrics and then create a branch based upon that commit. So that we'll have one branch called Scrambled Eggs that actually has all the lyrics from that original version called Scrambled Eggs. And then I'm going to ask you to make a serious change, delete everything in the lyrics.txt file, and then save that file. But don't add in commit, just save. And then using a git command, so not using command Z or undo, but using a git command, discard those changes you made so that you end up with the lyrics back in the file. Then we move on to something slightly humorous, where I found some parody lyrics from this website. I did not write these myself. And these parody lyrics have to do with 404 pages. So lyrics set to yesterday, but about 404 pages. So I just ask you to copy some of them, paste it into the lyrics file, and add and commit on the master branch, and then do it again. Finish the song out, add and commit on the master branch. After more consideration, you realize you don't actually want those 2 commits on the master branch, so I would like for you to move them. And the way that we'll do that is by undoing them. So we're going to remove those 2 commits from the master branch. We've seen a command to do that. However, I don't want you to lose those changes. I want you to keep the changes in your working directory. So you may need to rewatch a video to learn how to do that. Keep the changes, undo the 2 commits. Then you can create a new branch called 404, switch over to it, and then those changes will come with you. You can add and commit them on the 404 branch and go back to the master branch, and we'll have the original lyrics. So don't just, listen to me, read the exercise, read the bullet points. I think it's pretty step-by-step. You'll need to use most of the commands we talked about, and you may need to reference either the Git docs or the earlier videos in this section. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. I really recommend you do it. It kind of takes me forever to make these things, so I hope you get something out of them. Anyway, here we go. So I already cloned. We already saw that there was 8 commits in there. I'm going to check out the very first commit. And first, I'm just going to open up the lyrics file. right? There's one file, so I'll just open it up in VS Code. And I'll do this side by side. Okay, so there is the lyrics, the complete lyrics for yesterday. Although actually I did leave off the final verse. Anyway, what we're going to do now is go back to the commit. That was the very, very first commit. So git log, just do one line, and I'm going to copy this hash and then check it out. Git check out that hash, and this is the very first commit. We are going to immediately leave. We saw those lyrics, right? Those are different than what was just in that file. We're going to go back to the master branch. So I can just do a git switch master or just git switch dash to go back to where I was. And now we see yesterday, the actual lyrics. Next, go back to the commit where the original version of the lyrics was first completed. This commit has the message finish original lyrics, and then create a branch called scrambled eggs based on that commit. So we'll do a git log, one line. Let's find, there it is, finish original lyrics. Copy that hash. We're going to check it out. This will be detached head, which is okay. So here's the full scrambled eggs lyrics. So we're going to make a branch based upon this. I'm going to switch to it. Let me clear -C, and it's called scrambled eggs. So now we're no longer in detached head. We have these changes from the earlier commit, but I can also switch back to master, and we don't have those changes here. I mean, we do in the history, but currently in the working directory, we don't. Now, delete everything in the lyrics file on the master branch, and save. Uh-oh, I didn't mean to do that. And ignoring the fact that I can just do Command Z and undo it, using a git command, discard those changes. Okay, how do I do that? Well, there's a couple of options. The newer way of doing it is git restore and then a file name. So git restore lyrics, and there we are. But I can also recreate that. So I just saved again. I can do the older version, whoopsies, git checkout head, and then the file lyrics. And there we go, same thing. Okay, next up, I get a creative itch. I'm on the master branch. I'm gonna replace the contents of the lyrics file with this. Nope, not that, I copied the wrong thing. This. And we're going to add and commit this on the master branch. So git add lyrics, git commit, just go with begin 404 lyrics. And then we're just gonna copy this, the second half of the song, put it at the bottom of the file, and then add and commit again. So git add lyrics, git commit, finish 404 lyrics. And then we realize, oh, that was actually a mistake. Shouldn't have done that on the master branch. I don't even know if I want those lyrics anymore. So I'm going to move them to a branch called 404, but I already made the commits on the master branch. So I'm going to undo them on master. So I need to use the reset command, and I need to figure out where I'm resetting back to. So this is 404, this is 404. This is what I want to go back to. So 2 commits ago. Copy that hash, and then I'm going to do a git reset, but I'm not going to do hard, if you recall, which also updates the files and undoes the changes. It doesn't just delete the commits, it actually undoes changes. I'm not going to do that, as this document makes, I hope, clear. Keep the changes in your working directory. Just undo the 2 commits. Okay? So we don't see anything change over here. But if I do a git log, we don't see those 404 commits. So now I can make my new branch called 404. So git switch -C 404. And those changes come with me. If I look at git status, right, it says you modified the lyrics file. So now I can add and commit on this branch. Git add lyrics, git commit. I don't know, how about write 404 parody lyrics. Jeez, can't type. Okay, so that's on the 404 branch. And now I can switch back to master, right? Here's the 404 lyrics, but on master, they're gone. We have the original yesterday lyrics, right? We don't have that 404 commit. This is the final thing on the master branch. And if we switch back to 404, we have those lovely parody lyrics. And if we switch to scrambled eggs, which is the other branch that we made early on, I have the original scrambled eggs version of yesterday. And that's it for the exercise. Okay,